Imagine a freezing European dawn when the sky is still lead gray and everything on the radar feels familiar, almost boring. Then, suddenly, a dot appears, fast, high, and unnervingly clean. It doesn't look like a reconnaissance aircraft, and it doesn't behave like a decoy. Its speed rises steadily, its altitude climbs with purpose, and the way it changes direction makes the radar operator lean closer to the screen. Normally, a fighter turns along a path you can predict, but this dot snaps into a tight turn, then climbs again like the sky has turned soft just to let it pass. Inside the control room, a few officers glance at one another. No one speaks loudly, because the louder you speak, the more it sounds like you're admitting you found something unpleasant. Then someone whispers a name, not like a report, but like a warning. Su-27 flanker. It isn't stealthy like a secret aircraft. Somehow, that makes it feel even more dangerous. It shows up openly and still makes you feel one step behind. It's the kind of opponent that creates pressure before a single shot is fired. By the late 1970 seconds, the Soviet Union looked west and realized something deeply alarming. The rules of air combat had changed. On the other side, the F-15 Eagle wasn't just a fighter that flew faster or higher. It was a system of dominance, powerful radar, long-range detection, beyond visual range missiles, and tactics built around a brutal principle. See first, lock first, shoot first. In a real encounter, if your opponent gets to squeeze the trigger even a moment earlier, any advantage in close-in maneuvering can become meaningless. The Soviets understood that without an answer, without a predator that was equal or even more threatening, European skies would slowly become NATO's home turf. Every Soviet reconnaissance run, escort mission, or interception would be spotted sooner, forced to react, and pushed into a defensive posture. And once you defend long enough, you lose initiative, you lose the right to choose the timing, the distance, the direction of attack. So the order was blunt. Build a heavy, long-range fighter, tough, hard to kill, and dangerous enough that the enemy would hesitate from dozens of kilometers away. What the Soviet Union needed wasn't a patched-up upgrade or a temporary fix to stop losing. They needed a machine that would change the game, something that would force the enemy to adjust tactics simply because it existed. The Su-27 was shaped with a clear mindset. Fly far, carry more, maneuver hard, and survive in unforgiving conditions. It had to cover vast airspace, stay on target longer, and remain flexible enough to turn a bad situation into an opportunity. In the minds of its engineers, the flanker wasn't just an aircraft, it was an answer to a nightmare. The West had gained superior long-range detection and strike capability. So the Su-27 was designed as a total package. A large airframe to hold fuel, 2 engines for brute thrust and redundancy, a strong structure built to withstand violent handling, and above all, a fighting philosophy built around seizing initiative. This was a fighter born for one purpose: enter contested skies and tell the enemy, from now on, you don't get to fly on your own terms. Because the moment you make your opponent afraid to make a mistake, you've already won half the battle. One look at the Su-27 tells you it was never meant to be slim or elegant. It's massive. Its wide wings blend into the fuselage in a way that suggests lift and stability, like a deep-sea predator gliding just beneath the surface. The long nose hints at space for radar and sensors. The tall spine and stretched body signal heavy fuel capacity and rugged internal strength. Its most distinctive feature is the twin engines set apart, creating a tunnel between them at the rear. That gap isn't for style, it improves stability and control when the aircraft is pushed into extreme angles of attack. From a distance, the Su-27 looks like something built to endure rather than decorate. It doesn't try to look refined. It looks confident, and that confidence becomes psychological warfare. Opponents see a fighter that can stay airborne longer, absorb tactical stress, and come back after brutal maneuvers. In war, shape can be a message, and the flanker's message is blunt: I'm here to take space, not to pass through it. The Su-27's strength isn't just its top speed. In air combat, something matters even more: Energy, the combined advantage of speed and altitude. Energy decides whether you can climb, dive, turn, or disengage faster than your opponent can react. With two powerful engines, the flanker accelerates hard and maintains momentum during aggressive maneuvering. In a tight turning fight, many aircraft bleed energy, lose speed, and start to feel heavy and slow. The Su-27 was built to avoid that kind of fatigue. It can pull hard, then surge upward, then change direction again like it still has strength in reserve. That is terrifying for an opponent because it makes the usual calculations when the other guy should be tired suddenly unreliable. The twin engines also mean survivability. This is a heavy fighter designed for long-range operations, often over cold skies and far from home. When you're operating at distance, redundancy and steady thrust aren't luxuries, they're requirements. So the flanker isn't just a machine that charges in. It's a machine that can sustain pressure, extend the fight, and wait until the enemy makes the mistake first. People remember the Su-27 for maneuvers that look almost absurd at air shows, but behind that spectacle is a tactical purpose: get the firing position. In close-range combat, if you can point your nose at the enemy just a few seconds earlier, you can create the angle that decides everything. The flanker was optimized to maintain control at high angles of attack, allowing it to turn brutally without simply falling out of the sky. When an opponent thinks you've lost momentum, the Su-27 can still swing its nose onto target. When they believe you've been slowed down, it can suddenly climb, roll, or reverse in a way that breaks their timing. Of course, super maneuverability isn't something you spam without cost. Overuse it, and you can still bleed energy. The danger is that the flanker has options. It can fight an energy game, keeping distance and advantage, or when the moment is right, it can switch into violent close-in moves to finish the job. It's like a heavyweight fighter who's also strangely agile, endurance, strength, and a sudden twist that's hard to predict. For the pilot facing it, the feeling is simple. You're never sure the flanker is out of tricks. The Su-27 was built to win air superiority, which means it has to be dangerous at long range and brutal up close. A truly dominant fighter doesn't wait for the enemy to come near, it forces the enemy to react early. When an aircraft can detect targets at distance and carries the right weapons, it creates invisible pressure. The opponent must turn away, change altitude, break formation, or dump electronic countermeasures. Even making the enemy lose rhythm is a victory. And once the gap closes, the flanker becomes a different animal. It's large but stable, capable of sudden aggressive handling when needed, and tough enough to endure a tense turning fight. Its combat logic resembles a smart predator. From far away, panic the prey and push it into a bad direction. Up close, clamp down, and finish. So the Su-27 isn't just a missile truck, it's a tool for controlling the battle space, taking initiative away from the enemy. In war, the winner is often the one who chooses the distance and the moment of engagement. The flanker was designed to make that choice for you.
What was meant to be a fun day for the families gathered at the Sknyliv airfield on July 27, 2002, quickly turned into an unprecedented catastrophe. It was the 60th anniversary of the Ukrainian Air Force's 14th Air Corps, and after an epic series of brazen aerobatics showcasing aviators aboard some of the world's most impressive planes, the multitudes prepared for the spectacular grand finale. A Soviet-era 18-ton Sukhoi Su-27 fighter jet would swoop in just above the crowd in a series of high-risk aerial acrobatics. But as footage taken by spectators and news camera operators shows, the aircraft entered a rolling maneuver at a very low altitude and continued to lose height drastically as it passed close to a wooded area, its wings clipping one of the trees. The crowd then gasped as the jet violently plummeted on a direct trajectory towards a large group of people. As the maneuver was going completely out of control, the disoriented pilot screamed into his radio, quote, "Where are the spectators?" As the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, many military aircraft were left on Ukrainian territory and added to the Ukrainian Air Force's array of assets. And by 2002, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense claimed to be in possession of
A truly great aircraft rarely ends with itself. It becomes the foundation for a whole family. The Su-27 did exactly that. But what matters most isn't the list of variants. It's the legacy of the underlying idea. A big airframe, long range, strong thrust, and high maneuverability built to control wide skies. When the base design is strong enough, you can evolve everything around it. Better sensors, better weapons, improved avionics. But the backbone remains the same. The Su-27 was born from a Soviet obsession with being shot first at long range, and it answered with a philosophy: don't merely react, impose the fight. That is why the flanker became more than engineering. It became a symbol of an era when every new fighter carried strategic meaning. It said, "We are not standing still." And when a symbol lasts long enough, it enters military culture. People speak of it like a benchmark, a story, a machine that earns respect, whether you like it or not. Because in the end, the flanker isn't remembered only for what it could do. It's remembered for what it forced others to do. Rethink routes, rethink formations, rethink the sky itself. Calling the Su-27 a monster isn't exaggeration, it's accurate. It's a machine that combines traits that rarely coexist. It's big, but not clumsy, heavy, but still agile. Long range, without losing the ability to close in and kill. It can apply pressure from far away and remain lethal when the fight collapses into close range. The flanker is a reminder that air dominance isn't just a number, top speed, missile count, or ceiling. It's the power to control psychology, control distance, and control timing. The Su-27 was born as the Soviet answer to the F-15, but it became something beyond an answer. It became a name that made people recalculate their flight paths. And if you want one final sentence to lock it in, the Su-27 wasn't trying to be an equal. It was built to be the aircraft that makes the enemy change tactics from the very beginning. That is what dominance looks like. Not loud, not flashy, just present. And the rules are already different.